Dr. Chris here with Texas Chiro Health, back with our 12 Minutes to Health to bring you guys the research on how to be healthy, how to live a healthier lifestyle. And we always talk to you guys about what the research says, about how to eat better and put the right things into our body. What do we need? How to move more, getting more exercise, and what kind of benefit that has for you, which we're going to be talking about in a minute. And also how to manage your stress and just kind of decompress and build that kind of your immune system to stress. So those three things put together will really help you live a healthier lifestyle. So thank you guys for tuning in as you do each and every week. On Tuesday nights, we do this in all the clinics as well at 5:30. So come on in, enjoy some refreshments, get to meet the doctors, talk to the doctors, get your questions answered, and grab some of the research on these topics that we talk to you about each and every week. And also, we love to come to you to bring this information. So, if you have a business or a group of friends or anybody who wants to learn more about being healthy and what the research actually says, the real research that we talk to you about, let us know. And we'll come out to you, we'll bring you a healthy lunch, and we'll talk to you about the research, the peer-reviewed, randomized controlled trials, right? Not just the case studies and the marketing that's out there, which we're actually going to talk a little bit about the marketing research and stuff today. But we just want to give you that unbiased, evidence-based approach to health. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's jump into the research here. We've got a research review today done by Niemann and Wentz. And this is such a great review, and this is a big reason you need to come into the clinics because this is such a long review. There's so much literature out there on exercise and what that does for you. So they've kind of put this all into one peer-reviewed study here looking at all the different research. And they titled it The Compelling Link Between Physical Activity and the Body's Defense System. So the main thing that they're looking at here is how is the immune system boosted or not? How is aging affected? How does your body's defense system respond to exercise? And it's a great piece of literature to have and to read and to go through and get your questions answered on. So let's dig into it. There's a lot here, so I want to try to keep it as conversational as possible so that you get the main points from it. It's not so much about statistics and physiology, right? That's all in the article, but that's so hard to convey in just these 12 minutes to really dig into what's going on. So I'm going to hit some pretty broad topics with you and also answer a great question I got from a patient the other day looking at a medication. In this article, when you look at exercise versus medication, it's not even close. So we'll talk about that stuff as well. So the first thing that this article does such a great job with is they look at moderate physical activity, right? And part of it compares that to vigorous activity, what that does to the body. And I don't want to get too much into that, but I like to focus on the research that applies to everybody, right? And I think that everybody can get up and go for a walk, or at least, have the ability to get up and go for a walk, where not everybody has the ability to do CrossFit or to, lift heavy weights or to do intervals right now. We can work up to that stuff, but if I can just get everybody to walk, the health benefits are incredible, right? And this study looks at moderate physical activity, and the way they describe that is basically just going for a walk, walking about for 30 to 45 minutes a day, right? Having an intentionality behind your walk to go out and walk for the purpose of walking. So that's going to let you pick your pace up a little bit more than just kind of moping around, but it's also, you're still able to carry on a conversation. It's not like it takes the breath away from you. It'll raise your heart rate, it'll get your blood flowing, and then all those things are great. But everybody can get out there and do this. And so it's very important for me to focus on how do I affect every patient, not just, my athlete patients that are in high school or college or the guy who runs marathons. There's different training, and I'll look at that research and help each and every person individually. But what I really want to focus on with these 12-minute talks is how do I affect the whole? How do we get everybody healthier? And if we could get everybody to walk for 30 to 45 minutes a day, we'd need a lot less doctors and medicines and things like that in the world. So one of the things that they showed, this was a great part, that I wanted to include because it decreases the mortality rate from flu and pneumonia. Just taking these walks for 30 minutes a day, right? Regular, moderate exercises lowers the death rate from flu and pneumonia. And it does this in a ton of different ways. I mean, the physiology behind it's incredible, right? It acts a lot like vitamin D because it lowers inflammation. It helps regulate the immune system so that cytokine storm and the overreaction of your immune system, you don't get as much because you're exercising and the hormones that are released to help control that. Vitamin D is another big one there. And that's why I'm always talking about vitamin D, exercise, stress management. They all go hand in hand, guys. You know, and not just vitamin D, but the omega-3s, probiotics. When you look at the probiotics with exercise, it actually shows that this moderate exercise in this article said that it increases the biodiversity of the bacteria in your microbiome. So you get a more diverse microbiome, more different kinds of bacteria that are beneficial and help block these flus and these viruses and things like that. So that, again, lowers inflammation and lowers the death rate, acute and chronic inflammation there. So I think preventing that overreaction of the immune system is one of the biggest things that moderate exercise regularly can do for you. So it will lower the mortality rate of the flu and of pneumonia. So that's a big one. It keeps your immune system young, exercising like this. So what that means, is that there's a process called immunosenescence. And essentially what that word stands for is over time, as we age, our immune system slowly gets weaker. It doesn't react the same way. It doesn't react as strongly. It's just part of aging, right? Well, if we can exercise regularly, moderate exercise, just going for a walk again, right? Then we can actually slow that process down. And it shows, it's been proven now with this study and many others that show that we can slow the deterioration of our immune system down. That just keeps us younger and healthier as we age, guys. It adds years to our life, or life to our years, more importantly, right? Keeps us moving, keeps us active, and it keeps our immune system strong. And we don't have to worry as much about flus and pneumonias and, you know, pandemics from last year or whatever it is, because we're keeping our immune system healthy, we're lowering our inflammation, and exercise is absolutely essential to this. We cannot be healthy if we're deficient in movement, okay? And what that means is if we're not walking for about 30 minutes a day, then we're never going to reach homeostasis. We're not going to maintain that baseline level of health and stay healthy. So very important that we move to keep our immune systems young. Decrease the length of symptoms. Okay, I got this question the other day because we were talking, someone brought up Tamiflu. And it's been brought up in the past, right? Because it really helps, or it's supposed to really help with the flu and shortening the time that you experience symptoms of the flu. So I was reading this research and it came up. I was like, oh, let me dig into some Tamiflu stuff as well. So this study didn't focus on exercise versus Tamiflu. It was just a question, so I wanted to throw it out there for you guys. And I read some of the research and stuff on Tamiflu. So if you look at exercise, again, regular moderate exercise, you can actually you can cut the length of your symptoms from the flu in half. Okay, it's at 40 to 50% in this study. So the flu will usually last, on average, according to the World Health Organization and the CDC, the flu is something that will last 7 to 10 days. So if you have regular moderate exercise, then you can cut that down to 3.5 to 5 days, right? Cuts it in half. So I said, well, what does Tamiflu do? Because that was really pushed, especially when we ran into, there was bird flu and there was swine flu and H1N1, and Tamiflu came out in 2000, or I think it came out in 99, and then in 2002 was the big push on bird flu, I think was first, and then 2010 was H1N1, and all these different flus. So the World Health Organization actually took Tamiflu and put it on the essential drug list, right? Like, we've got to have these. Well, the problem is they base that off of two really incomplete randomized control trials for this drug that got it FDA approved, right? We can go into that research, and that's a whole nother talk, but when you look at it, they did this prematurely. In 2014, there was a study released in the British Medical Journal that came out, and it said, whoa, I think we've kind of oversold this Tamiflu, right? Well, and by the way, speaking of selling, as they put it on the World Health Organization's top medicines that are essential or whatever, the company that makes Tamiflu had an $18 billion increase in profit. So, that's another thing that's out there. And this study goes, I think we've overdone this. Let's look at Tamiflu. And this is in 2014 in the British Medicine Journal. And they published this study and they said, Tamiflu decreases symptoms from the flu by a day. So it's more like 6 to 9 days versus 7 to 10. Remember, exercise cuts it in half. Exercise way outperforms Tamiflu in that aspect. Then they looked at the side effects of Tamiflu. First, let's look at the side effects of exercise, right? Better mood, increased immunity, decrease the age of your immune system, less pain, less chronic inflammation, weight loss. Those are pretty good side effects. Maybe fatigue. You can throw fatigue in there if you want because you're tired after a walk. But I tell you, I really don't feel that way. Most people don't either. But when we look at the side effects of Tamiflu, they have nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, hallucinations. Death is on there, but I think death's on there for all of them, right? It's lower on the list. So I saw hallucinations. I was like, man, that's a weird one. So this study said, yeah, there were hallucinations, and it found that in 2012, I think it was, in Japan, they actually outlawed Tamiflu for teenagers because they had teenagers that were jumping out of windows. They were having hallucinations and they were jumping out of windows, and a couple of them broke their legs. It's just the hallucinations caused them to jump out of windows. So Japan actually outlawed Tamiflu in that sense. Well, after this British Medical Journal study came out, the World Health Organization took that off their essential medicine list. We just pushed the drug way too fast because we were scared of H1N1, or we were scared of bird flu, or scared of COVID-19. I mean, it happens time and time again in medicine where we push these things without the correct studies. And that's why I do these talks, because we do have the correct studies that say if we were exercising regularly, if we were putting the right stuff in our body, if we weren't as chronically stressed out, we wouldn't be as susceptible to these flus, to these viruses, to anything that comes along, because we'd be functioning correctly, we'd be at homeostasis, and our bodies would just do better. So that was, a question that I got the other day, but this article does show that exercise can decrease the length of your symptoms by almost half from the flu. So that's incredible. Again, get out there and walk, right? And lastly, that talks about the decrease in chronic inflammation. And I talk to you guys all the time about chronic inflammation and how it's the root cause of all the chronic diseases out there. We're chronically inflamed due to not eating the right stuff, moving enough, and being stressed out all the time, right? So if we exercise, moderate exercise regularly, it is proven that will decrease chronic inflammation. And it decreases it quite a bit, right? And this is done by different cells in the immune systems that are regulated by the exercise and physiological processes that take place there. But the big thing you want to know about this is get out and take a walk, because it's going to lower your chronic inflammation, right? So what's the number one thing that stops people from doing this? Because it's free. Everybody can go out and take a walk. Your pets love it. You can take them with them, right? You can take your spouse, you can take your kids. I mean, it's a great time to get out there and talk. There's fresh air involved. So what are the drawbacks? Why would I not go out there and do this? And I hear two things. One, I hear time, right? I don't have time to do it. And that's, I understand the time restrictions and stuff, but if you really want to make this work, you can make time for it. There's a number of things we can replace with just a 30-minute walk, right? Or just wake up 30 minutes earlier and get going. But the other thing I hear is money. Or is pain, not money, it's free. But I hear that people are in pain. It hurts to walk. It's not enjoyable when it hurts. And that, guys, is why we do these talks, and it's why we do our special offer. Because if you're walking, you're going to have less pain, right? But if you're in pain, it's hard to get up and go walk. So if you're in pain, do something about it. Come in and see us. That's what we do. We help people get out of pain. And while we're doing that, we help educate them on eating, moving, stress management, all the stuff that we talk to you about, right? But getting out of pain is essential for you guys. So stop making excuses on pain stopping you from exercising. Stop making excuses for not getting pain taken care of. Just a $39 donation that I talked to you guys about, it goes to our local monthly charity, right? It gets you all this stuff, the x-rays, the spinal health assessment to get your spinal health score to see why you're in so much pain, what about your lifestyle is affecting it, how are you moving, all that stuff. We do the exam, the consultation, everything we can, and then we show you exactly what's going on, and we'll show you how we can help you too. And it's just a $39 donation, guys, so there really are no more excuses. Get into the clinics, get yourself taken care of, because exercise, being able to walk each and every day for about 30 minutes is absolutely essential to your health. So come see us. Let us help you out. I appreciate you guys for joining us each week, and I'll see you next time for the 12 Minutes to Health. Thanks, guys.